Welcome guys, my name's Meath, and these are some tips and tricks for Windrunner Spire as Preservation Evoker. Here are the talents that I'm running with. Generic Cradle Warner Tree. The only outliers is that I use Simulacrum. I don't press Verdant Embrace as much as I used to since getting the hero talent. I like to prioritize that, so I've gone with only one charge of Verdant Embrace. The only other change is that I'm not taking the rewind cooldown reduction because I try and go for Life Spark. I don't press rewind as much as I should, which is why I've taken the talent out. Here we are at the start of the dungeon. It's one big room, so I expect a big pull. What I'm trying to do is just get your echoes out as much as you can. Follow that up with a Dream Breath into your Apex talent. The bell that you can hear is outlining when I get the Apex talent proc, and then just throw that out. Since getting the Apex talent, I've tried to use that after throwing out a Temporal Anomaly, unless I need big spot heals. I do a Temporal Anomaly into a Verdant Embrace, but with the Apex talent now, I like to put that into my Temporal Anomaly so you can double it up. If you just get the proc for the Apex talent, just throw that out as much as you can, as it's got the reversion healing as well. As you can see, a few people dipped quite low, but as long as you have faith that they won't die, then it should be fine. With only a few mobs left and everyone's health near full, I'll just help with DPS and use my Essence Burst for free echoes so that I can prep for the next pull. My mana is still pretty healthy here, as I was using Disintegrate through the fight. As long as you've got at least half your mana bar, you can go straight into the next pull and not have to drink. This keeps the dungeon flowing. The next pull is a pretty simple one, so we'll just go to this big pull. I highlighted it here because there's a lot of green poison on the floor that you have to deal with. People like to pull it to the top of the stairs, so what you want to do is just keep throwing your echoes out. If you need big heals, use Verdant Embrace. But as you can see, I've got a stasis stored up here anyway, so I can use that if I need to. Since we're at the end of the pull, I've only got 10 seconds left on my stasis, so I'll have to use it now, because it will only go to waste if I try and hold it for the next pack. Next, again, we've got the big spider pull. There's a lot of damage that's going out here, so what you want to do is, again, just throw your echoes out, use your Apex talent, make sure you're prepared. If you need it, do a Verdant Embrace, and roll again. If everything's on cooldown, Fire Breath, Temporal Anomaly into a Living Flame to heal everyone up. So first boss here, all I'm doing is DPS in, throwing a few echoes out if I need to. I've got the mechanic, so I'll just go to the edge of the map, wait for it to depart. That mechanic is going to throw out 5 tornadoes that you need to dodge, so you should try and get it away from the middle as you can. While the tornadoes are being fired across the room, the boss will also push you back, do a frontal that changes direction. You want to make sure you've got some hots out with some echoes so that you can heal while you're moving. Make sure you use your hover ability so that you can cast while moving, as it makes it much easier. As you can see here, I'm just throwing echoes out, putting reversions on people if you need to, making sure everyone's got at least a Dream Breath on as well, and I'm just damaging the boss. As you can see, my helpful DPS forgot to move out with the mechanic, so this caused a bit of extra damage as they stood on top of each other. Luckily this boss has gaps in its damage output, so I knew I had time to heal them back up. This would be an issue at higher Mythic Plus runs, so be prepared to throw out a lot of healing when this happens. In my case, I could have used Rewind to get the group stable again. This next boss, damage is pretty steady. The only thing you've got to make sure is that whoever is targeted by the hook, hooks the other boss. You want to put the poisons towards the edge of the room so you've got more space to maneuver. A lot of dot damage, so make sure you keep your Dream Breath out on people. Followed up by a Temporal Anomaly into a Blessing. Just do some damage. Put some echoes out. Again, you can see I've got stasis stored up here, so I can use that. Get everyone up. Things that I want to store in the status are
You are
Dream
targeted.
Breath, Temporal Anomaly at least, and you can either put a Verdant Embrace or a Blessing. Don't hold back about using stasis. It's got a short 1 minute 30 cooldown, so you can use it at least once every pull, especially when you get used to the damage patterns in the new dungeons.
You are targeted.
Here I was targeted by the hook, so I used hover to jump behind the boss so they would get hooked instead of me. If the boss isn't hooked, they will keep channeling damage out and making you work harder than it should. If your
You're
DPS
targeted.
isn't moving and they are targeted with the hook, you can always rescue them into the right place. Then it's just rinse and repeat until the bosses go down. You want to try and kill them as close as you can to each other, as the last boss alive will be empowered until they die. Skip to the next boss. The trash is pretty simple. This boss, he likes to smash the tank, so just throw him a time dilation. And then he jumps around onto people, which then rains down rocks. So just make sure you've got a dream breath and some echoes out so you can heal people. This
You're
mechanic
targeted.
is that he focuses people and does a blade storm. So if you're targeted, you want to stay at the edge and hope that people don't stand in the blame storm while they kill the ads. One main thing you gotta be comfortable is people might not be full health all the time, and as long as you're comfortable with some people being less than 80%, then you should be okay. Here I wasn't as prepared as I should have been. There was a bit of downtime where I was just not thinking. Should have prepped better, but you've got enough healing to be able to heal people to full. And again, I could have used a rewind. When I was targeted with this mechanic, the group was already pretty stable, so I wasn't worried too much and didn't put any echoes out. I just used hover to kite the boss around and keep myself alive. At the end of the day, as long as you, the healer and the tank stay alive, you'll complete the dungeon. Yes, it's bad if DPS have to die, as it will make the dungeon take longer overall, and they might have a go at you. It's okay if you complete the dungeon. At the end of the day, you'll never speak to these people again if they're pugs, so who cares? This group was melee heavy, so I was targeted a lot with both the jump and the blade storm mechanic. Luckily, since we've got 2 charges of hover, it makes it easier to dodge the boss. You're targeted. If you pick time spiral, the evoker tree, you can give yourself an extra charge of hover, which is useful on this boss. A few DPS dropped quite low when the blade storm went off, and I didn't have any echoes out. Luckily, they used the defensive, didn't die, as it was too far away to heal. So you're targeted. Scramble to throw out enough healing. You're targeted. Up. So I tried to use Verdant Brace into a fast dream breath so I can trigger the Apex talent again. This was definitely on me for not preparing before the blade storm started. This boss seems to have a lot of health combined with his jump and blade storm mechanic. It takes a while for him to go down. The fight overall is pretty simple as long as the DPS can kill the ads quickly. You're targeted. Blade storming. Here you've got the final boss. Luckily it's in a small room, so you don't have to worry too much about range. Only main things you got to do is use the arrows that are on the floor to knock yourself up over the wave. The Mythic Plus mechanic is that you can clear some of the lightning arrows off the floor if you get targeted with the circle. You just want to prep as much as you can. So yeah, I've thrown out a temporal anomaly, a blessing, just to make sure people have got hots while I'm getting knocked around in the air. Dilation on the tank just to make sure he's okay. This boss also jumps away in channels just before the wave goes out. It does group wide AoE rock damage to try and get prepared just before this happens. So keep an eye on your boss timer as it gives you a nice countdown before he starts. Here you can see I was a bit late with prepping my stasis, but this would be a good example of where you could use it. Have it ready to go so that you can use the stored healing to get through this phase. The main takeaway that you need to have when you're playing Preservation Evoker is to prepare as much as you can with echoes. And just feel comfortable that you've got enough tools to top people back off if they take damage. So you can see I'm targeted by the mechanic. I pop defensive at the last moment, move into the circle so I can clear the floor as much as can. So here the boss will do a cone attack on a person. It's through time dilation on the person targeted, they were fine, and then make sure I could heal them up. There we have it guys, thanks for watching. I'll be dropping some more M0 videos when the new season's released. Catch you in the next one.